Well, I've been wanting to get back into making videos, and I was going to try to make one once a week, so I'm running a little behind. But I'm trying to get the garage cleaned out, and I thought I'd make a video on all these chainsaws I got. It's one of my hobbies, is sitting around watching YouTube and watching a lot of chainsaw videos. But the last video we did was this Homelite 1050. Seems like it's running pretty good. Might need some carburetor tuning, but other than that, I think we got a pretty good running saw. And this thing is just super clean. So I got this off of a guy on a Facebook group for Homelite chainsaws, and turns out the guy was somewhat local. It was about a 45-minute drive for me. But he, anyways, on his post, he said, men, and then he explained something, whatever it was about the saw. And anyways, one guy threw a fit. What, a woman can't buy the saw? So I just commented on it, I go, that's a man saw. So anyways, I ended up with the man saw. And the guy threw in 3 Homelite 360s with this. I don't know anything about those, but we'll get those up here in a minute. So this is the biggest saw I have. This is 100cc. And then the next biggest saw I have is the Stihl 056. I also paid $100 for this one. The muffler on it is kind of an outer shell of a muffler. I took a piece of a 55-gallon drum that I made a barrel stove out of and welded it in here. I got this piece of a muffler off of eBay. It was the only thing I could find. But they had, not all of them came with it, but this one, you can see where exhaust blew out in here. This had the dual port muffler on it. There's kind of a tube that would come through here. But this thing is a bad mamma jamma. The last time I ran it. So maybe one day we can, I don't know, make some sort of custom exhaust or something for it. I guess these mufflers are super hard to come by. And the oiler I got cranked up all the way. I'm not real thrilled with how much oil comes out. I took the oiler all apart. Everything was fine in there. I heard that these had oiling problems. But other than that, it's a pretty darn good saw. It's got just gobs of power. Maybe one day we can compare these two. I think the Stihl will stink that Homelite's butt. But I've got quite a few more saws than these. This is, I don't know, I probably got maybe 2/3 of them here. I also have a Homelite C52. So my next biggest saw is this guy, the 365. I think I paid $400 for this, and it must have came with at least $200 worth of bars and chains. It's got also a 32-inch bar for it. This thing is just a super nice saw. I can understand why guys try to gobble these things up now. That was one reason I bought it. I was searching for a 372, and this is one of those that you can do the 372 conversion on it. You pop this little plate off over here off the transfers, and there's like a little restrictor in there, and you grind it out. So maybe one of these days we'll make a video on working on this saw. And the muffler is, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's pretty crunched. But I've been very impressed with this saw. It was just a wonderful saw. And then the 460, I've had this thing for forever. It's been a pretty good saw. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for when I bought it. I did a lot of reading online when I was looking for a saw. And what I read was, this was a professional grade saw that they were selling in like farm stores, and I don't know why people were saying that. I don't know if it's because it's got the decompression on it, maybe being a little bit bigger than the 455. It's a good saw, but it's not a professional saw. I mean, I would call it a farm and ranch saw. It's a lot better than a homeowner grade saw, but it's not a professional grade saw. If this was a 60cc professional grade saw, it'd be about exactly what I was looking for at the time. I was a little disappointed in it. But it is a good saw. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It's a little cold-blooded. And I don't know, that problem's been getting worse and worse. I'm surprised I haven't had to go through the carburetor on it. I actually bought this in, I think, 2011. So I've had this thing for a long time. Alright, since we're in the 60cc range, thus far in a 460, other than that home light. Next we got, make some room here, the Homelite Super XL automatic, and this saw's in pretty decent shape. I got this on an auction, I think for $15. There was a pile of junk chainsaws. Normally at the auction I go to, they go for, I don't know, $10-15. And anyways, the wife wanted to bid on something, and we were there for something. I don't remember what it was. So she wanted to bid on something beforehand. So I told her to go get me this thing, and I said, don't go more than 20 bucks on it. And I think she got it for 15. 12 or 15. But I've been wanting one of these things for forever, and I've seen these things all over the place, dirt cheap, and never scooped one up. Now they're getting kind of hard to find. I have another one that I got from an old guy, and the engine's all chewed apart on it. And that's the one that I stole I took the entire ignition system off and just swapped it because that one had spark. It didn't have spark. But this one was a pretty good runner. Haven't used it in a while. And then next is one of the 360s. So I got this with the Homelite 1050. The guy gave me 3 of them, and then one that was all in parts. So we got a lot of parts. I really like these saws. I've kind of always wanted one. I really don't need another saw, so I wasn't looking for one, but I guess if the price is right, may as well gobble them up. And being I got a whole pile of parts, this might be one to play around with modifying a little bit. I don't know, I always thought these were really good looking saws. This one's in okay shape. I don't know why there's electrical tape wrapped around it. All of them, this rubber grip on the handle is fine. I'm not sure why somebody wrapped that in electrical tape. I wouldn't be surprised if this one ran. Sounds like it's got good compression. So that one probably wouldn't take much to get it going. The other ones are kind of rough. This is one of the better ones, and then there was another one sitting over there. It was just the power head, but that one looked pretty decent. And there's another one that had a smaller bar on it, and it looks like it had a lot of use. So maybe we'll make a video on one of these going or something one of these days. Maybe do a pork job on one. Put a pipe on it. So I think that's about all I got for the 60cc. So next we'll hop into the 40 cc's. Alright, now we're in the 40 cc range. So this one here, the Homelite 240, I got this out of my grandpa's garage after he passed away when everybody was cleaning it out. I took it apart, cleaned it all up one time, and tried to get it started, and it's got carburetor problems from what I can remember. That's been, I don't know, at least a year ago. But being that belonged to him, I'd really like to get it going. Looking at the specs on these, they actually seem a pretty decent saw. So one of these days, hopefully we'll get that going. So this was a trash can find. I actually got two of these. This one says 42 cc, the other one says 35 cc. They look identical. I think, if what I remember right, this one didn't have compression, the other one had really good compression on it, but all the fuel lines were rotted off of it. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I kind of wanted to play around with porting one and modifying it, but I don't know, I really don't have time, so I'm not sure what we'll do with those. This little steel, I got this for 25 bucks. The guy said this was his main little saw for cutting up firewood. He said he used it for forever, and then one day it wouldn't start, so he just went and bought a new one. He figured it just needed a carburetor rebuild on it, which I did, and then it started up and ran, and never started since. So that's all I know about that. I don't know when these days I'll get it going again. I might need to thin the herd a little bit, so this one might put it for sale. I don't know, we'll see. I only have two steel saws. I got the 056 and this. And then this little guy, the Super Easy Automatic. We were at an auction, and I don't know why, but the wife scooped it up for 10 bucks. And surprisingly, brought it home and it fired up and it ran good. So I've only used it once. I think I cut up some firewood we had here in the yard. That's really all I know about that. Little baby brother to the 1050. Alright, I think these are the smallest saws I have. So this one here, the 136. I tried to get this thing going. I don't know what the problem is with it. I thought it just needed a carb rebuild on it, which I did. Couldn't get it going, and I put a different carb on it that came off of a weed whacker. It looked very similar, other than the linkage for the choke. It would idle with that carburetor on it, and then I found there's a little impulse tube in there. That was bad. Changed that. Maybe I changed that before I did the carburetors. Changed that, and anyways, that's, I don't know, I got so much time into this thing. I gave up on it for now. At this point, I figured the whole thing needs to get tore apart and gone through. And then this little Echo, this greasy little Echo, I think I paid $20 for this thing way back. And it is just a mess. It leaks oil. I got so much time into this stupid thing and money. It is a nice saw when it runs, but it is just, it's got a mind of its own. It'll run just fabulous. And then just decide to either quit or you shut it off and then it won't restart. I think it's got some sort of case leak in it that randomly pops up. And then it leaks oil like crazy. I don't know, I bought it at my wit's end with that thing. It's just been such a pain in the butt. but it's just such a nice saw when it actually works. And then we got the Husqvarna 335. I did some reading on these, and it sounds like you guys didn't really like them too much. There was a comparable steel saw that I guess was way better. Something about the torque and the RPM on them, the steel was way better. But this would be a nice saw if it ran and worked good. I think this has a case leak as well. But anyways, that'll be a project one of these days. Alright, we got a bonus round for tonight. Not a chainsaw, but kind of close. So this is a Diamond Bort Super 80. And I kind of did some research on it. I guess there was a company called this, and they made mining equipment or something, and then they got into concrete saws for a while. I think they bought Partner concrete saws or something like that. But I guess these were built by Olympic in Italy. Yeah, it says made in Italy right there. I got this thing off of eBay way back. And I've actually used it a lot. It's been a very good saw. But it sat for, I don't know, it sat for a couple of years and that doesn't want to start, so I think we just got to go through the carburetor on it. I've replaced that filter one time, it looks pretty rough. But anyways, I got a project house I got to work on, so I'm going to be cutting concrete. This would be nice to have. You can tell that whoever made this also made chainsaws. I don't know if you can see it in there, but there's felling spikes in here. So I did some research on it, and that's when I found out that they were made by Olympic chainsaws. This thing was a runner back when I had her going. We'll have to go through the carburetor again. I don't remember what kind of carburetor was on it. But it had just tons of compression on it. You rip your fingernails off. It's happened a few times. But it'll be nice to see that going. I used to cut a lot of steel with this too. Cut a lot of concrete and a lot of steel with it. Yeah, it'll be nice to see that run again. Well, that's it for this video, I guess.